Brunch, aka Viagra for women. Because after bottomless mimosas, you had better be bottomless by the time she gets home. Brunch season is approaching, so today on Poor Choices, we are making a simple breakfast casserole. It's got everything you need all packed into one tray that'll serve all your guests, complete with toppings. Add some sangria or 20 bottles of champagne and tell your man he better not go far, because he's about to get it. So let's get to it. Welcome back. I was out of town for a few weekends when I normally film, but now I'm here and ready to be your cooking guide all spring and summer long. Let me first say that this recipe really calls for breakfast sausage, but for whatever reason on this day, I could not find any. I mean, I went to several stores and no one had any breakfast sausage, only just regular pork sausage, which you could turn into breakfast sausage, but I was being lazy. Perhaps everyone is already making breakfast casseroles, I don't know. So I opted for pork chorizo, which is equally delicious, but let me just say this. There is a lot of grease in chorizo, so you really gotta do a good job of draining it afterwards, okay? Otherwise, your casserole will be a floating dish of grease, and while consumable and pretty good, everyone will be in a deep food coma afterwards and brunch will be over. So that's my advice. Use the pork breakfast sausage or chorizo. I'm using 2 pounds of meat here, and with a slotted spoon, I pulled my cooked chorizo out, placed it on a paper towel lined bowl because again, all that grease, and I tried to keep about 2 tablespoons worth of grease in my pan while discarding the rest. We're gonna use that to saute our vegetables. I'm dicing up half a green bell pepper and half a red bell pepper. No particular reason other than I just like the color combination. Also, little life hack, if you didn't know, place the skin side down, or shiny side if you wanna call it that, of the bell pepper down on your cutting surface, and that'll make it much easier and safer to slice and dice, especially if you're using a knife that isn't the sharpest. You don't want that knife slipping onto your fingers like I have so many times. I also dice up 1 yellow onion. Feel free to add other vegetables here like mushrooms or whatever you like in your breakfast. Get that into your cast iron skillet, hit it with a little salt, and cook until softened through. We don't want to fully cook these because these are going into a hot oven with the rest of our ingredients later on. I'm also not adding a ton of other seasonings here because that chorizo grease has a lot of flavor already in it. Same as your breakfast sausage if you're using that. And then once you're done sauteing your vegetables, throw them in that same bowl, you put your chorizo in and give it a quick mix. Then in a large bowl, I've cracked a full dozen of eggs. That's right, we're balling with this recipe, a whole dozen. Give these a quick scramble, then whisk in 1 cup of sour cream, 2 cups of shredded sharp cheddar cheese. I know, I'm actually using the bag stuff here. 1 to 2 tablespoons of your favorite hot sauce, and then 1 tablespoon of seasoning. Now I say seasoning because I wanted to experiment and use a Cajun seasoning because I was just interested in how it would pair with the Mexican chorizo, hint, delicious. But a regular all-purpose seasoning works here as well. Mix all that up and then let's grab our 9 by 11 inch aluminum tray, spray it down good with some cooking spray, and here's how we'll layer everything out. So you can do one of 2 things as your base. Hash browns, which are delicious, or a pack of crescent roll dough. Option, you could just tear up some bread chunks and use that too. I like my potatoes to be on the side and crispy. In my experience, putting hash browns down at the bottom of this, again, delicious, doesn't crisp up the way that I want it. So I'm going to opt for the delicious and buttery crescent roll dough. Just open the package, unroll the dough, and place it at the bottom. It should fit just right, and it's okay if it tears or anything, just kind of put everything in place. We're not worried about leaks here. Once that's laid out, I'm going down with my vegetables and chorizo mixture, spread it out evenly, and then I'm gonna pour over my egg mixture. You don't have to stir it up here because we're gonna place this in the fridge for at least an hour, but up to overnight if you'd like. And as that time passes, the egg will seep down into everything. It'll actually seep down better with the breakfast sausage since it tends to leave, I guess what I would call air pockets. It's more crumbly, so there's more room for the egg to seep down versus the chorizo, which tends to kind of stick and bond together. So it'll still get down there, but you'll notice a difference in how the layers go if you make these either way. You'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. Let that sit in the fridge, and then we can cook this one of 2 ways. In the oven at 350 degrees for 1 hour, giving it a rotation midway through. Or if you have a grill, like I do, set it up for indirect cooking at 350 degrees and let it rock for an hour in there as well. It'll take on that smoke and grill flavor so well, which is what I did, but in the oven is perfectly fine. Do not be discouraged if you do not have a grill. I'm just giving you this option here. Remember, a grill and an oven, pretty much the exact same thing. Again, don't forget to rotate it halfway through, and then towards the end of the hour, give it a check. I shook a little to see if it jiggled in the center, and I checked to see if it was pulling away from the edges. No jiggling and pulling away means we're good to take this out and get ready to serve. I got my handy spatula here and cut me a nice big old square. Then it's time for toppings. This is the great thing about this recipe is that you can make a toppings bar as well. I started out with some bacon, then some Pico de Gallo, some sour cream, and you can also do some hot sauce if you want to. I know a lot of cultural flavors happening here, but it came out so good, and I highly recommend this as a simple feed-all recipe. And again, don't forget, you can make this the night before, and then the morning of when you're getting ready to do brunch, toss that thing in the oven, and you're good to go. Less work for you, right? And that's it. Hey everybody, we have a Patreon here for Poor Choices Kitchen. $1 a month is all we ask for. It helps us pay for things in these here inflated times. And I appreciate you all rocking with me, especially during my absence over the last 2 weeks. Normally I film these on Saturdays, and I've just been out of town for the last 2 weekends. But no mas. Well, actually, I'm lying. I got a few more trips, but I'm actually going to plan ahead and give you all some more good recipes. So look forward to some more brunch recipes, and then we are getting right into grill seasoning, which I can't wait because I have some amazing recipes for you all. So until next time, Poor Choices Kitchen, and you know I have myself a mimosa with this. See you later.